girls, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing something a little different. We are taking a break from talking about fashion and beauty, and we are really going to do a deep dive into this new supplement that I've been taking called berberine. So I never thought I'd have to say this in any of my videos, but I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional at all. These are just my opinions based on my experience with a dietary supplement that's over the counter. So if you are thinking about taking any sort of dietary supplement, you should always be cleared by your doctor first. So that was weird. Let's just get into this video. First of all, I wanted to just do a quick little backstory about why are we talking about berberine today on my channel. So last month in September, I had gone to my doctor to talk about my recent weight gain. I was concerned. I have a family history of diabetes. Both of my parents passed away from complications of type 2 diabetes, and the fact that I'd put on 20 pounds in the past year was concerning not only to me, but to my doctor. So my doctor and I both agreed that Weygovy might be a good tool for me to just get that extra weight loss off and get back in control of my weight and my blood sugar and all of that. I was not yet pre-diabetic, but I was really concerned about that. So I'd been watching a bunch of videos about Weygovy and had educated myself about it. I was super excited to try it. I even, after my doctor's appointments, when he told me, yes, I'm going to prescribe you Weygovy, he gave me this pamphlet. I scanned the QR code, which would tell you if you were like pre-authorized for Weygovy based on a few different factors. And it said, congrats, you're pre-authorized, your insurance should cover Weygovy. However, when I went to fill my Weygovy prescription, I was in shock because not only was it not covered by my insurance, but it was out of stock and they did not know when they would be getting any more Weygovy in anytime soon. So as I'm sure you could probably imagine, I was pretty upset by this. And I felt really like, oh my gosh, you know, I had this great tool that someone was going to hand me to get control of my weight and feel good about myself again. And it was like literally ripped away from me that day. And I was just so mad. So I come home, I'm so upset that I didn't get this Weygovy, right? And all of a sudden on my page, on my homepage on YouTube, a video was recommended to me about berberine. And they were discussing how berberine is the new, like, all natural Weygovy. So I'm like, interesting, right? So I started watching a few videos about berberine and I was intrigued. So I went ahead and ordered some on Amazon that day, got them, decided I was going to try it. So I just wanted to share with you after using berberine for 1 week and my thoughts about it, how I felt when I was on it. And at the end of the video, I will share with you how much weight I actually lost. Okay, so here are the berberine tablets that I ordered from Amazon. It was about $25 for 60 capsules. And here it is. This one's by Thorne. I watched a couple of videos and people were recommending this brand. That's why I decided to try this brand. And it says it's for GI support and immune support. And their suggested use is to take 1 capsule 2 to 3 times daily with food or as recommended by your healthcare professional. That's not how I took it. So after watching a few videos about this product, it was clear to me that in order to have sort of the maximum results from this, you should take 3 capsules, which is 600 milligrams because each capsule is 200 milligrams. So 3 capsules before food. So on an empty stomach twice a day. So I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee, and then I take 3 capsules. And then a little bit later, I start drinking my breakfast smoothie, but you just want to wait a little bit before you start eating or drinking a smoothie or something like that. So I take 3 of these before breakfast, and then I take 3 of these before I eat dinner. And actually, I started taking them to work with me. I keep them in my purse. So that way, as I'm leaving work at 5 o'clock, I take 3 of these because my stomach is pretty empty at that point. And then by the time I get home, I'm not like snacking on a bunch of snacky stuff before I cook dinner. It makes me feel like less hungry and snacky, if that makes sense. So 3 in the morning, 3 before dinner, and I have really seen some big results. Let's talk about how you feel when you're taking them. The first thing I noticed was that my pee was yellow, like bright yellow, the first couple times I took it. I will say that maybe because I've kind of upped my water intake, I am not noticing that anymore. But initially, that was my first notice. It didn't smell weird or anything like that. I just noticed the color was different. The next thing that I noticed was I did have a couple occasions where I felt a little bit dizzy, like just not enough to where I even needed to go sit down, but just like I just felt a little dizziness, and I was like, that's a little different. So that happened to me twice during the week, but nothing major, and I didn't feel like I needed to discontinue it or anything like that. The next thing that I noticed about berberine is that after you take it and before you eat something, you kind of feel a little bit almost like foamy, frothy in your stomach, like it's just expanding and making you feel kind of comfortably full. And I would compare it to, you know, when you're at Starbucks and you get like the Frappuccino and it's got all that whipped cream on it, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have all that whipped cream, but you drink it anyway, right? And then your stomach just feels like it's full of whipped cream and you're like, oh my God, I'm so full right now. That's what I would compare it to, and not majorly bad, but it's just a comfortable fullness. And that's just the only thing I can compare it to is like if you just had like a Frappuccino and you've got that kind of foamy kind of feeling in your tummy. So I do notice that, which is not uncomfortable at all. The other thing I noticed was not like a physical side effect, but so at work, I am the first one to go to lunch. We have a rotation. We all have to take turns. I am always the first one to go because by 12 o'clock, I am typically starving. Doesn't matter if I had protein in my breakfast, if I didn't have, doesn't matter what I ate for breakfast. At 12 o'clock, I am starving. And if you get in my way, or if you try to take lunch before me, I'm gonna be not a happy camper, okay? So they all make fun of me at work, but that's just how I am. I've always been that way. I'm always hungry right at noon. While I was taking this past week, I did notice that I was not as starving. I was still hungry at 12 o'clock, ready to eat my lunch, but I wasn't starving. And then another thing that I noticed about the berberine supplement while I was taking it is that this past week, when I usually go in the back room around like 3 to have just a little healthy snack, maybe just like a handful of nuts or something, I had gone in the back room on Thursday and grabbed like a handful of pumpkin crackers, and I put one in my mouth, and then I stood there and I was like distracted by something, but then I thought about it and I was like, I'm not even hungry. Why am I eating these? So I put them back. I put them back because I was not hungry. I wasn't ready for a snack. So that's something to consider, is that like you have to really lean into what your body is telling you while you're taking this, because if you take the supplement and continue to still eat the same things, you're not going to lose weight. It's not going to help you. You have to be intuitive with your eating and realize that, wow, I'm really full right now. I don't need to eat anymore. I could stop myself like 3/4 of the way through and be like, I don't need to finish that. If you're not that type of person and you can't intuitively eat, berberine is probably not going to help you. Because what it does is it helps you feel fuller for longer periods of time, similar to Weygovy. It also can help your blood sugar stay kind of like evened out, similar to Weygovy. The one thing it doesn't do that Weygovy does do is make you not think about food, make you not think about eating. So berberry is not going to make you not think about food or not think about eating in the same way Weygovy would. However, it does help you to feel fuller for longer periods of time so that you don't need to eat as much at every meal. So I think that's the main difference. But I mean, comparatively, for a 1-month supply with Weygovy, because it was not covered for my insurance, it was going to be $1,300 versus a 1-month supply of Thorn is berberine is probably going to cost you, between $30 to $50. So, I mean, that's like a no-brainer. It's so much less money, and this is readily available. Weygovy, I don't even think is still available to this day. Now, this was a month ago when I went to my doctor and it wasn't available. And I've even watched videos about people who started taking Weygovy and are really upset right now because it's not even available to them. So they've had to go off of it and are just like really upset. So, I mean, with the whole supply and demand issue, I just think if you could try something that is all natural, why wouldn't you, right? So what is berberine? It's a dietary supplement. It's found naturally in different plants. It's been used as a Chinese medicine for thousands of years. But we just now are starting to hear about it as being like a dietary supplement for weight management because people have discovered that property recently. It also can help with inflammation within your whole body. So one of the first things that I noticed before I even got on the scale was that my wedding ring was feeling kind of loose. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. My ring's loose after just being on the supplement for less than a week. It was actually 4 days on. I noticed, I'm like, that's kind of weird. I must be not retaining as much water. Okay, so how much weight did I lose this week taking berberine? 4 pounds. 4 pounds. Like, that is a big whoosh. Like, even when I was doing keto, for a 4-pound weight loss week would be like a swoosh for me. Like, that's a big chunk of weight to lose for a female when you're not drastically eating, when you're not cutting out entire food groups like carbs and things like that. If you're just eating like a standard healthy diet and just adding in one thing, that is a big swoosh. So I am super happy. I'm going to continue to update you guys weekly about my thoughts and my weight loss and how it's going with berberine. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions that I didn't address, just pop them down below. And if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Emily, and I make videos about fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, and we'd love to have you here as part of our little community. So if you want to watch my next video, I'll link it here. And until then, see you next time. Bye.